The year was 2317, and the stars above Varela 9 bled red through the smog. Captain Ethan Cross, a battle-scarred human ex-soldier, trudged through the marketplace's chaos, a haven for smugglers, pirates, and slavers. The Federation had abandoned this frontier world years ago. Here only greed ruled. He wasn't here to play hero. He was here for supplies and a job that could keep his ship, the Wayfarer, flying for another few cycles. Then he heard it, a scream. Not a cry of defiance. Cry of terror. Turning toward the noise, Ethan saw a small alien girl, maybe 10 years old, with luminous teal skin and silver eyes, bound in chains. 3 Carithian slavers, reptilian giants with scaled hides, barked out bids from buyers. Pure-blooded Valari, one slaver shouted. Perfect condition. A rare catch. The crowd jeered, but Ethan felt his stomach twist. He'd seen too much in the war to stomach this. He should have walked away. He knew better. He'd learned long ago that getting involved meant bleeding. But something in the girl's eyes, that terrified, pleading look, tore through his cynicism like a blade. Ethan pushed through the crowd. "How much?" he asked flatly. The Carithian leader sneered, his yellow eyes narrowing. "You buying human? Or just wasting time?" Ethan tossed a credit chip onto the table. "Enough to buy her freedom." The slaver laughed, showing serrated teeth. "Freedom? No such thing here." The next moment was chaos. Fast, brutal, and human. Ethan's old instincts kicked in. Plasma pistol flashed. 2 slavers dropped before they even knew he'd drawn. The third lunged, claws scraping his shoulder, but Ethan's combat knife found the creature's throat. The crowd scattered. The girl stared at him in disbelief as he shattered her chains. "You're safe now," he said softly, his voice gruff but gentle. "Name's Ethan." She blinked, trembling. "Aelira," she whispered. "My name is Aelira." He nodded. "All right, Aelira. Let's get you out of here." That night, aboard the Wayfarer, Ethan patched her wounds and gave her food. Real food, not ration paste. She ate in silence, her large eyes never leaving him. "Why did you help me?" she asked finally. He shrugged, half smiling. "Because nobody helped me when I needed it." Part 2: A Journey Across the Stars. Days turned into weeks. Aelira, once shy and fearful, began to laugh again, a sound Ethan hadn't realized he missed hearing in this cold galaxy. She learned fast. Fixed the NAV console when Ethan's temper nearly broke it. Asked endless questions about Earth, oceans, and why humans had only 2 colors in their eyes. He found himself teaching her everything he knew. How to plot jump routes, how to repair plasma conduits, even how to aim a sidearm. She wasn't just surviving anymore. She was growing. But Ethan knew the galaxy wasn't safe for her. Not for a Valari, not here. The Valari Empire had fallen decades ago, torn apart by internal wars. What remained were scattered refugees and hunted remnants. So he made a choice. "I'm taking you home," he told her one morning. "Wherever that might be." Aelira's eyes widened. "Home? Hey, I don't know where that is." Ethan smiled. "Then we'll find it together." For months, they searched through forgotten star charts, following rumors of surviving Valari colonies hidden among nebulae and abandoned systems. They faced pirate ambushes, engine breakdowns, and the silent cold of space. One night, as the stars streaked past their viewport, Aelira whispered, "When I'm older, I'll come back for you. I'll make things better. You'll see." Ethan chuckled softly. "Sure, kid. I'll hold you to that." Eventually, they found a small Valari outpost on the far edge of Sector 9. The people there wept when they saw her, a child thought lost, the daughter of a fallen noble house. Ethan stood by his ship as they took her away, tears in her silver eyes. "Don't forget me, Aelira," he said with a sad smile. "Never," she promised, gripping his hand. "I'll find you again. I swear it." Then she was gone, swallowed by the stars. Part 3, 20 years later. Time moves differently when you're alone among the stars. Ethan grew older, his beard streaked with gray. His ship patched more with memories than metal. He took cargo jobs, rescue contracts, anything to stay flying. But he never forgot the girl with silver eyes. Sometimes when the radio static hummed, he imagined hearing her voice again. Then one day, while drifting near the Varela Belt, a fleet dropped out of hyperspace ahead of him. Sleek, curved ships glowing with blue energy signatures he'd never seen before. The comms lit up. "Unidentified human vessel. This is the royal flagship of the Valari Ascendancy. Power down your engines and prepare for boarding." Ethan blinked, startled. The Valari Ascendancy. He thought the Valari were extinct. He hesitated but complied. Old habits die hard. Moments later, his hatch opened. 5 armored guards stepped aboard, their armor shimmering like liquid crystal. Between them walked a woman, tall, regal, and unmistakably Valari. Her silver eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. She smiled. "Hello, Captain Cross." Ethan froze. "Aelira." She laughed softly, the same laugh he remembered. Older now, wiser. "It's been 20 years. I told you I'd find you." He stared at her in disbelief. "You're Queen," she nodded. "Of the Valari Ascendancy. We rebuilt what was lost. And you, Ethan Cross, were the reason I lived long enough to do it." Ethan couldn't speak. His throat tightened. "You shouldn't have come back," he murmured. "The galaxy's still cruel." Aelira's eyes softened. "Then let's change it." Part 4, Shadows of the Past. Aelira brought Ethan aboard her flagship, the Seraphis. The halls gleamed with crystal walls and soft bioluminescent light. Everywhere he walked, Valari soldiers bowed to her. She showed him the rebuilt cities of her people through hollow projections, shining domes, floating gardens, and oceans that reflected twin suns. But behind the beauty, Ethan saw the tension. Aelira's empire was still surrounded by threats: human corporations, Carithian warlords, and the same slavers who'd once chained her. "You're at war," Ethan said quietly. Aelira nodded. "The Federation claims neutrality, but they arm our enemies. They fear a united Valari people." Ethan frowned. "And you want me to do what?" Her expression turned earnest. "I need someone I can trust. Someone who knows how humans think. I want you as my advisor." He laughed, a dry, disbelieving laugh. "I'm just an old pilot." She stepped closer, her voice soft. "You're the man who saved a terrified child from chains. You're not just anything." Ethan looked into her eyes, and for a moment, he saw the little girl from years ago, looking up at him with that same fierce hope. He sighed. "All right, Your Majesty. I'll help." Part 5, The War for Freedom. Months passed, and Ethan found himself back in the thick of things. Strategy meetings, battle councils, and field missions. The Valari weren't the same broken refugees he remembered. Under Aelira's leadership, they'd become a force to be reckoned with. But the galaxy didn't take kindly to rising powers. The Orion Syndicate, a human slaver coalition, declared open war on the Valari. The irony wasn't lost on Ethan. Humans enslaving aliens again. The same cycle he'd tried to break 20 years ago. When the battle began in orbit around Delta Ares, the void erupted in fire. Ethan commanded a small strike group, leading from the front in an old but sturdy Corvette. Aelira's voice came over the comms. "Ethan, the Syndicate's flagship is retreating toward the station. We can't let them escape." "Copy that," he replied. "I'll handle it." He dove through debris fields, plasma bolts streaking by. The Syndicate cruiser loomed ahead, its cannons glowing with deadly energy. Ethan smirked. "Let's finish what we started, kid." He angled his ship and fired a concentrated EMP burst, disabling their shields, then transmitted targeting data to Aelira's fleet. Moments later, a blinding spear of light from the Seraphis tore through the cruiser's hull, splitting it apart. The Syndicate fell. The Volari were free. Cheers echoed across the comms, but Ethan only smiled quietly, pride swelling in his chest. Part 6: The Promise Kept. After the victory, Aelira invited Ethan to the Royal Citadel on Valera Prime, a breathtaking world of crystal forests and silver oceans. For the first time in decades, he felt peace. At the coronation ceremony, she stood before thousands. Her voice carried across every broadcast in the sector. "There was a time when I was nothing, a child in chains. But a human showed me mercy when the galaxy would not. Today, I stand not as a queen born to power, but as one shaped by kindness." Then she turned toward Ethan, standing among the crowd. "Captain Ethan Cross, the Volari Ascendancy honors you as Guardian of the Crown, the highest title we can bestow." The crowd erupted in applause. Ethan, for once, was speechless. Later, on the balcony overlooking the twin moons, Aelira joined him. "You kept your promise," he said softly. "You came back." She smiled. "And you kept yours. You never stopped fighting for what was right." He looked out over the city, glowing like a living jewel. "Guess we both found home, huh?" She reached for his hand, silver eyes gleaming. "No, Ethan. You gave me mine." Epilogue: The Echo of Kindness. Years later, stories spread across the stars. Of the human guardian who saved a child that became a queen, of how one act of compassion reshaped an empire. Some said Ethan retired peacefully on Valera Prime, tending to gardens beneath alien skies. Others claimed he still flew among the stars, watching over trade routes and helping lost ships. But those who knew him, those who knew her, said the truth was simpler. He never wanted glory, only to make sure no one else was left in chains. And sometimes when the twin suns rose over Valera's horizon, the people swore they saw two figures walking the crystal shores, the queen and the man who'd saved her life 20 years before. Closing narration, voiceover tone. Slow, resonant. Heroes aren't born in wars or on thrones. Sometimes they're just the ones who stop walking when they hear a child cry.